Hi, everyone. My name is Oluwadara Elkanah. I am a South Salem High School graduate class of 2022.
Let's get started.
Class of 2022 is in the house. Today, we're joined by 2022 graduate Dara Elkanah. Her 4 years as a Saxon included participation in our AVID and Unified programs. She helped create and lead our Best Buddies program. She helped with our Black Student Union and our Sources of Strength programs as well, getting those launched. She sang in our choir. She took IB classes. She helped with Link mentoring. She was a member of our DECA, our Key Club, and our Saxon Strong Club. She also served as a student advisor to our school district. She was honored with the I Lead City of Salem Youth Impact Award. She even interviewed with Oregon Governor Kate Brown. Since graduation, Dara's now attending Oregon State University, where she's pursuing a degree in human development and family sciences and is the president of the African Student Association. She runs a hair business specializing in protective styles for ethnic hair. She hosts a weekly Bible study. She's worked as a peer mentor for the OSU Educational Opportunities Program. She studied abroad in London. She's even hosted a workshop about representation in education at the Peer Educators Conference. And finally, though not totally complete, but finally, Dara's a very special interview today because she was one of the very first students at South that our team reached out to when creating our Alumni Spotlight series back in 2021, when we launched it for Black History Month. So let's start with a long-needed thank you, Dara, for your help with that. None of this would be possible without your immediate support back when we were launching and first pitched this idea. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for that and welcome to your turn in the spotlight.
Wow, it's a full circle moment.
It really is. Do you remember anything from that original series? Who you interviewed? Anything that stands out?
Yes, I remember it was with Kundai and Kudzai, and I remember it just felt like a conversation with us, but then getting responses and comments from teachers and staff members being like, this was so impactful. And it just made me realize how much change can happen and how easy it is. Let me not say easy, but how just even having conversations just lead to change, lead to growth, lead to impactful mindset shifts as well.
And we've seen that ever since. It has been that slow progression for us as a school as we've started honoring our students after they graduate. So often, so many of those students are not necessarily forgotten, but there's just so much that goes on in life beyond high school. And if we as educators are committed to preparing you for your life beyond our walls, why are we not celebrating all that you do and making those connections from what you're doing now to our current students as they're pursuing their own passions, as they're identifying their own likes and dislikes, as they're trying to find out who they are as a genuine and authentic person, which I'd love to get your take on as well here in a sec. But let's start with your high school years. Dara, you were super involved as a Saxon. What memories stand out now from your 4 years as you're a few years removed?
I feel like I was always just running up and down, in the halls, just going back and forth. And I had a lot of fun. I was involved in a lot. I was grateful to be involved in a lot. So much was happening, but I loved the connections I made from being involved in all those things. I would say probably the most impactful experience for me was the Unified program. That's something I never thought was even possible that could exist. And I think it was most impactful my senior year because that's when my little brother, who is in the Unified program, was a freshman, and I got to witness him and see him at school and go bug him as the best oldest sister. And I loved how it was just unified PE and then expanded to unified art, unified theater, having unified tournaments and playing against other schools. And it was just a wonderful, life-changing program. I loved being able to connect with all of the students with or without disabilities and be able to form lifelong friendships from those. And just, I don't know, it's I love that the quote is choose to include, and how I always just have that in the back of my head, always choose to include. So that program has just honestly transformed me, transformed those around me, and I'm so grateful to be part of that.
I don't know if you remember, but one of the first years that we had a assembly, unified basketball assembly, and I remember only pulling out half of the bleachers and filling them. We had students that came because their teacher said, hey, we're going to this thing. But just that start. And then yesterday, actually, no, it's Tuesday, 2 days ago from when we were recording this, we had our last assembly, unified assembly, and the entire school was there. All the bleachers were pulled out. I mean, students were going wild. We had cheer going. We had the band going. We had students in the student section with signs, like all chant. I mean, it just was this really, really full circle, like you said, experience to be able to see it from the very beginning and watch your classes, like your graduating class, invest so much in that idea that, hey, at South, we're going to be different. We are going to be the ones that are prioritizing inclusion for students with and without disabilities, that we're breaking down the barriers that so often exist in a system, especially public education, that you are willing to be courageous in that, take a little extra effort and put the time into building that program. And now to see where it's at thriving, not just here at South, but across our school district, like that fever was hot. And I mean, one of my favorite pictures is you pushing your brother. We were playing kickball or something, and just the joy on your face as you're getting to experience that. And everybody behind you is just pumped and all engaged. It's really an awesome experience. So I'm glad that is one of the things that has stood out.
Yeah. And I have heard it's also expanded to middle schools too. My little brother is in middle school and he said, yeah, they have middle unified. I think they even have like a program that's like siblings of students with disabilities. And so I'm glad that the program is expanding and just getting more.
Anything else that stands out that you wanted to mention?
Senior year. The senior year is just the year that like sticks out the most. So I think that's might have been like the most involved there. And that's when we're completely back in person. Black Student Union was really, really great. I loved being a part of that as well. I think we had the African American Youth Leadership Conference. It was really good. Those are like the main two things sticking out. IB program. We made it through. That's all I can say. And I'm grateful for it. It's definitely helped me in my college transition. Ooh, and then AVID was funny because I joined AVID in 6th grade, I think, like right the earliest you can start it. And I stuck it through the whole program, but senior year was so impactful. I think that was definitely when it was the most helpful because, college application season. I'm so glad they like took care of fees and just like having that community, having that sense of like, whatever your goals are after high school, I will have support no matter what. I loved our AVID teachers, Keck and Carrie. Shout out to them. I'm so grateful for that community. I think like during lunch or like after school, I would just hang out in their classroom and talk. And it was just a really great opportunity to be a part of that.
It asks a lot of our students. I'm curious for you, what was it about AVID that was so impactful in your life?
It's family. I think because AVID, like you come in as a freshman and most of the time you stay with those same students until you graduate. So you get to grow up together basically. I remember our first day of AVID, we did like a little boards that's like, what's your name? How old are you? What do you want to be when you grow up? So, things like that. And at the end of the year, or senior year, with that same AVID family, you reflected on those, watched those pictures, and you're like, wow, like everyone has changed, grown up, gone through so much together. It is most definitely a family. I would just say family and also support. I'm so glad I have that program. If I didn't have AVID, I'm not sure how the transition to college would have been. And in addition, like I was a part of another college transition program called the Educational Opportunities Program. That just kind of felt like AVID extended. I was like, I'm glad I was able to already have this. And now I have an extension of that. And I can kind of be at the other side, helping other students who are figuring out that college transition from high school to college in a whole new place because of what I experienced in AVID and the Educational Opportunities Program.
Yeah,
like
what a
all
gift.
in all, family.
I love that. I love that word. I love that phrase. Family means so much, it's going to mean something different for everybody. And in this case, having that extended family for you here at school, I can see as just being super valuable. How about your IB classes? I know you were in IB. What was that experience like for you?
IB was good. I did IB classes for the classes like that I enjoyed or like knew I would. So I think IB English, and I love English classes. Did IB Spanish. I don't know if IB marketing was a class. I don't know. But I think IB English and Spanish were the ones that stuck out to me. There are some other classes, but I don't remember.
Do you feel like they prepared you for college at all? Like what was
I
the
would
value?
definitely say yes, especially with the workload. With the workload and the homework and the exams, it definitely prepared me for college because there's a lot of work in college. Oh.
Yeah, let's talk about that transition to what's life like now. I mentioned a lot of the things you're involved in. Talk about those and anything that you want to spotlight or highlight for yourself.
Yeah, I would say the The transition wasn't bad, I think, also because of the quote unquote Avid extension, the EOP program. We just call it EOP. And basically, I got to move into college a week earlier before everybody else get adjusted. It's for students from like marginalized backgrounds. And so we got to meet a lot of people. I met my very, very, very best friends from that program. Move into the dorms, just kind of like get a sneak peek into the college life a week early. And it's crazy how much happened within that week, how many steps we took all across campus within that week. And I always make a joke. It's funny because even though I've been at OSU for 3 years, and every summer I become an EOP mentor. So like during the summer, I now show the new incoming students the campus and stuff. I still get lost. Like I still don't know my way around campus. And campus isn't even that big, but it's one of those things. That transition program just helped me so much get grounded. There's EOP classes. So if I don't want to take like a chemistry class. Thank God I don't have to take a chemistry class because chemistry is not my forte. But there'd be like an EOP chemistry class where it'd be a little bit smaller. You'd have more one-on-one time with the professor. You'd be with other EOP students. You can study together. And I'm so grateful for that. I've taken EOP writing 121. I'll never forget that class, and some other EOP classes. But like the transition was really good. I'm grateful for it. I love my major so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's funny because my very first college class, like I remember calling my parents. I was like, okay, I'm about to go to my first class. And they were praying for me. They're like, Dara, you got this. You're going to succeed. My first class was Pilates, but I fell in love with Pilates. And now I have a class today. I'm taking a group fitness instructor class, working to become a Pilates instructor.
Cool, Dara.
And so, so grateful for it. Love it so much. I love my major. I love all my classes. Yeah, the workload is heavy, but like, I think because I'm so passionate about it, it doesn't really feel like school. It just feels like learning and growing and expanding. And yeah.
How'd you settle on a degree in human development and family sciences?
Mm-hmm. At first, I think I applied as business, and then I randomly was like, never mind. And then I applied as psychology. And all of these like major changes happened even before I touched space at OSU. And then I was just like, never mind. And I think I just stumbled upon human development and family sciences. I was like, And I want to be an educator. I'm going to be an educator, but I didn't pursue education because I wanted specifically early education. At the time I was applying, they didn't have that. And so I was like, okay, like maybe I'll join it on later or add it as like a double major or minor. And every year since freshman year, like I'd go in and talk to my academic advisor and be like, education, I'm interested in that. And they did add early education. But I can't seem to let go of human development, family sciences. Like I love it so much because I feel like it incorporates education, psychology, sociology, anthropology, political science, like everything that I love learning about. It's all in one major. Also, for some reason, it's so strange, but all of my classes always align. Like we always talk about similar things in like in an anthropology class and like in an English class, like they all always align. And I think even I love it. Like I love it so much. And I didn't want to move to education. And I was considering psychology at first, adding a double degree in psychology. And I took a psychology class. I was like, okay. And then I took a sociology class. And it was my very first Black professor I've ever had. And I adored the teacher, the professor. I adored how passionate they were. And it made me realize, wow, sociology is really, really interesting. And so like after I took that class, I immediately added sociology as my minor. Yeah.
I love that. And you talk a little bit about representation being so important. Talk about that and what your experience has been, especially as we enter into Black History Month. Mm-hmm. We can touch on that too, but start with the representation piece.
Yeah. My experience with representation is that I have had that in the educational aspect. And that's just part of like the city I grew up in just Oregon, is predominantly white. I think I knew I was interested in education during, I think it was 2021. The district had this program called the Afrocentric Enrichment Academy. And I don't even know how I found out about it. I think I just like received an email. This was academy going on. It was the very first year it was happening. I was like, okay. And I signed up. I applied. I got the position. And that program was so fundamental to how I view things, to why I'm studying, to who I am as a person now. It was just like a summer program. And we just implemented like Afrocentric curriculum into reading and writing for the students. The program is for students ages 3 in 3rd grade to 8th grade. And the first year I was like a student teacher for the youngest class of 3rd graders. And I loved it so much. 3rd graders are awesome. They're funny. They're so smart. They're so intelligent. And I think like I loved how the program, it kind of felt like a mini HBCU experience. Like it was all African American teachers and staff and also students. And because it's in the Salem Kaiser district, like I know that students also haven't necessarily felt that representation at a staff level. And so as we're all like the students are learning about these are amazing African American like influencers who created these things, who had these ideas, we're also learning as educators. And it was just we're learning together, we're growing together. We went on like field trips to the Portland Art Museum, to OMSI, I think to Family Fun Center. And it was like the best program I've ever experienced ever. I didn't know I could be a part of something like that. I was grateful something like that existed. And I think through that, I was like, I know I always wanted to work with kids, but I was kind of open to any aspect. But through that specifically, I was like, education. I love education. I love being in the classroom. I like being able to teach students. I think one day, like a teacher wasn't here. So they had me go in and like teach them multiplication. And it was so great.
Well, I hope you know just how excited we are to have you in our ranks, to have you as a fellow educator. It'll be something that I look forward to calling you a fellow teacher, fellow educator. Officially, you always have occupied that space, not just of representation, but a space of being willing to step in if there's someone not available, and you are the one that speaks up, speaks out. You're the one that's an educator. You're the one that students just adore and look to for guidance and support. You have always lived your life with authenticity and in such genuine ways, such passionate, such joyful ways. Where did that come from for you? And how do you live out those same qualities now as a college student?
It's a really good question. Where did that come from? I don't know. Life, I feel like even if experiences haven't always been great, I have always just been a very smiley person. I like to smile. It's great to smile. It's infectious. It's no matter how life is going, I just like to smile. It makes me feel better. And I like to spread that smile to others, I guess. Yeah, I think it's just a personality trait I have had for a very long time. And I will say now that I'm going to take some time to like think about that question. I feel like joy has just been something evident in my heart for a while. And sometimes it was, what's the word I'm thinking of? Disingenuine. And like I would just kind of like put up a front, but I feel like now it is more genuine. I think because of healing, and I went to therapy and got a relationship with God. Personally, has helped me so much find like true, genuine joy. And yeah, I've just always been a happy camper, happy go lucky. And
You mentioned your trip to Nigeria
yes,
being formative for you. What can you share about that?
wow. Okay, so I was born in Nigeria, 15 months old. We got up and my family won the diversity visa lottery. That's what brought us to the US. And like, I knew I was Nigerian. I got to know more about, okay, the city I was born, the area, and from my parents is like stories and experiences is how I got to learn more about it. And then through like movies, Nollywood movies, music. But like, even though I had access to that and the food, my mom was like basically a chef, so like I'm always eating Nigerian food. And through that experience, like I loved it and I enjoyed it, but I never really got to experience it for myself. And I've been wanting to go for the longest time. I wanted to go for like my senior trip after I graduated, but then with it was like still post COVID and passport stuff. It's complicated. And then last February, my mom was going, and she was just like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yes." And so it was the middle of winter term, but I packed up my bags and I went with my mom. And it was an amazing experience. From when I landed immediately, my mom's friend greeted us with a sign that said, "Welcome home, Dara," and "Welcome home," my mom's name. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I loved everything about it. I loved the heat. I enjoyed the thick heat. I loved seeing people who looked like me everywhere. I loved the food. The food was so good. Meat pie is my personal favorite food. I had suya chicken, things I didn't even know like I liked. I had them there and it tasted so much better. Something about just being home. Like I finally felt like, wow, this is home. This is where I was born. I didn't get to experience it, but going home was the best thing ever. Whenever I talk about it, I have to smile. I have to close my eyes and just reimagine being there. I learned, I observed, I rested, which is really good for me because I think when I went last year, I was working for jobs for fun, not for like just for fun. And so it was great to rest and recuperate and not respond to emails, not even have like my phone connected to like, Wi-Fi at certain points, and I was out and about. Like it was just good to that 2 week or 10-day rest at home. I learned so much. I learned more about myself. As we were driving, my parents were like, "Oh yeah, that was the very first house near our airport. That's like the house." And after I was born, I went there. This is where my mom grew up. This is where my dad grew up. This is where they met. Like I just got to see so much of my history and experience it firsthand, and it was amazing.
Yeah, what a beautiful experience. What an incredible opportunity to be able to do that. And I'm curious, knowing that for as long as I've known you, I've known you to, again, just going to emphasize the joy and the authenticity side of things. And as I'm listening to you now, hearing that side of you come out in a way that was known for you, but undiscovered in a kind of a real and as tangible way as actually going home and experiencing home for what all the definitions can be and what a home could be. It just sounds so powerful. So, I mean, thank you for sharing that. And I'm a little bit at a loss for words just knowing you and knowing how integral that experience must have been for you.
Mm-hmm. It was life-changing. It makes me want to now I plan to, after I graduate, I want to just do a gap year, but like not really a gap year. I'm going to be home. I want to be teaching in Nigeria.
I love that. How have you found that to infuse into your daily life, whether it's the rest and the rhythm of slowness, or maybe it's in the work you're doing as a hairstylist? What is it for you that you feel like you've taken home, Nigeria being home, into home here in Oregon, home in Corvallis, home in Salem, the other ways you've defined home over the years?
Yeah, I would definitely say that rest aspect and like taking breaks. I think after that trip, I saw an opportunity for a study abroad experience in a new country. And I was like, this seems fun. So I just sat there and I applied. And I'll go more into that later. But I think like because of that program, I think it was about basically 3 weeks. Like I took a whole month off of my calendar. Nobody can book any appointments. Love you guys, love my clients, but don't talk to me right now. I'm studying abroad. I'm learning. And so like I took basically like a whole month off, which is something I've never done. I've never ever done that. And I don't know, during that trip, like I was able to learn and also see so many beautiful things. The program is like the social determinants of health in the UK. And so we learned about the healthcare system there. There's like women's healthcare. We learned about the educational system and the disparities within that. We learned about like HIV and AIDS and the disparities between that as well. And as we would go to like guest speakers and just learn about like the organizations, nonprofit organizations, kind of expanded my career ideas in a way. I think it would be great and amazing to potentially open up a nonprofit for something like education or just youth development related. And I don't know what, I think maybe just being like out of the country, not working for a month, I don't know what clicked in my head. But from that, I came back home and I quit like all my jobs. And all the jobs were great. I loved them. I was a TA for the College of Education. And I loved that. But I think it was just grading papers. And I like the aspect of being in person with students more. And college students are not my thing. Like I'm a college student, they're just not my thing. I don't like grading their papers. I prefer like early education. And then I was president of an organization. And as much as I loved it, it took up so much time. So I also stepped down from that position. What else was I doing? I was doing a mentorship program, but like I said, it took so much time. So I also stepped down from that. And although they were all great, I enjoyed doing all of them. I just was able to now like recognize like what rest truly is. And I have my business and I love it. And I'm quote unquote like only reliant on that, but it's doing everything I need it to do. I get to meet so many more people. I get to pour more passion and put more investments into it. And I love that. I'm great. I'm only doing that right now. It's been going good. I've been doing that since I quit all my jobs for the school year. And I've been able to actually focus more on school. I'm here for school, not for work. Focus more on school, find what I'm passionate about more, create opportunities, create safe spaces for women through like the Bible studies that I host, and just know what true rest is. If I had a word for like to and half of my 2024 would be like restoration. Like I saw true restoration, and it's so needed. It's so great to be at peace. Like my head isn't like, there's a gazillion things in my head. I'm running up and down. And yes, I like being busy, but this is like a good busy. This is like I know I can handle this busy. Yes, I'm busy, but I can rest at the end of the day.
I love that. And knowing you, I got goosebumps. Just that journey for you is so powerful. And I'm just so excited to see where this takes you as you continue learning and you continue finding the ways to identify what rest is, what restoration is, and the ways that you can live into those passions. So that launches us perfectly into our big 4 questions. And these 4 questions, as always, are brought to us by the Saxon Success Fund, which is a nonprofit organization that is committed to providing student Saxon graduates, especially with scholarships as they pursue those lifelong goals. If anyone wants to get involved or find out how they can help, they can visit saxonsuccessfund.org. So question number 1 of our big 4. Dara, knowing where you are today, the journey that you've been on, all that you have going on in your life, what or who helped you get to this point?
First, I also want to say thank you to the Saxon Success Fund because they gave me a scholarship that has been helping me for college. So very grateful for them and that organization. And what or who got me to this point? I'll say number 1, God, I'm grateful for where I am. And number 2, Mrs. Tiffin, Principal Tiffin, really wrote down for me. Like I even get emotional thinking about it. So grateful. I think she believed in me more than I believed in myself. Especially with my career goals and finding opportunities. She just really like wrote down for me, and I'm so grateful for her. So grateful for her. She did change my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And mine as well. So shout out to Mrs. Tiffin, shout out to the Saxon Success Fund as well. What's one piece of advice that you would give your high school self?
Chill out, Dara. Calm down. Yeah, it's not, I think I was always struggling with like, I'm passionate about this and this and this, and I want to do this and this and this and this and this, but realizing like I'm pouring into so many things. I'm not pouring into myself. Like I want to be able to put 100% into everything, but it's like 20%, maybe like 3% here because I'm pouring so much and I'm not pouring into myself. So to relax, to calm down, and to make sure you're being poured into, most importantly. It was funny because I used to always say, I think like, I used to tell myself like, oh, you can't give from an empty bucket. But I was continuously giving from an empty bucket. But now I know what it feels like to have my bucket filled, to be intentional with my time alone, to be intentional with doing things that I am passionate about. And more specifically, like when someone used to ask me like if I had hobbies, I would be like, work. Like that's all I do, work. And so finding hobbies that don't pay me, even like if they are good, like finding hobbies like I just genuinely do, like hobbies that even I pay for, because I love that investment. And I think like hobbies for me were just like hosting girls' nights and Pilates and trying to get back into reading. I love going on walks, especially when the weather is nice and not freezing cold like it is right now. Walks, because I guess where my house is, like we have a whole like forest and hiking trail like behind us, and just like finding joy in the little things and like really just being present and aware and breathing. So yeah, I would tell myself to calm down.
Chill, calm down.
And smell the roses, honestly.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful.
Saxon roses.
Yeah. Okay, so question 3 then. Similarly, what's one thing you've learned since graduation that you wish you knew in high school?
I think in high school, I had a mindset that like I needed to be good at absolutely everything for colleges to look at me, for opportunities to come, like everything. Like I think of, I needed to be like excel and exceed and be perfect at it. But I think even my first 2 years here, like I was involved in so much. I was involved in leadership role, president of a club. I was mentoring, I was babysitting, I was TAing. But I think going into being in my junior year now, like I think just finding a couple things that I really, really want to pour into, that I really want to be committed to. So kind of going back to like what I said, I don't want to give 3% and 17% and 25% and all these low percentages in so many things, and rather finding like a couple few things to focus on, to be intentional about. So yeah, right now for me, that's just like business and like my girls' nights and Bible studies is what I'm like pouring the most into. And it's great. And I can still, when I have time, when I have the capacity, pour into the other things that I'm still passionate about, but really just kind of hone down and focus in on more specific things that I truly love from the pits of my heart.
But I want you to know from someone who it took 38 years to learn that you are learning in your 20s. I mean, your 3% is better than most people's 100%. And that's really that's a gift that you have. And you'll always be someone who's really good at everything. Like it's just who you are. And you're going to get asked to do a lot of things over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you can strengthen, not that I want to be preachy to you right now, but the more you can strengthen that no muscle, the ability to be like, that sounds really important. And I just don't have capacity to do that right now. If you can learn it better than me, go for it. That's all you need to say, because you've done the work to be able to get to the point, to be able to say no. And an explanation, just, is it harder to say no to yourself or harder to say no to others?
I would say myself, because a lot of like the pressure that I had was from myself. No one else gave it to me. My parents were like, Dara, you got it. So I'd say myself.
Yeah.
But I'd like pause before making any decision. It's like, Dara, like, as much as you love this, is this good for you? Is this serving you? And the answer is not always yes. So yeah, saying no to myself.
Before I get to question 4, tell me about the faith journey.
Yeah. So grew up in the church. My dad is a pastor. My parents are pastors. Grew up with that. And knowing about God, hearing all these stories, but never had that personal relationship. My first term of college comes and I'm like, I want nothing to do with the church. I want nothing to do with my siblings. I was like, I don't want to be a big sister anymore. I just want to be my own person, live my life, not have to wake up early on Sundays, And I tried to live that for college experience. I'd go out, I'd go to parties. I would just go outside all the time. And at the end of the party, like I was never satisfied. I was like, it was fun. It was great to make new friends, but they wouldn't remember me. And I went through that, like the first full term, just living like the college dream. And then winter term comes around and I'm at home and it's like 3 days before the end of the year. I'm just in my room, like it's bedtime. And like out of nowhere, I just get this wave of like release. I just want to say release. I was holding so much pain against my parents. I was holding so much hurt, like my parents, my siblings, past like friendships, past experiences. And like I was just holding that all in, and it was holding grudges. And like, I don't know, just one random, like it just hit me. And like I just felt like a wave of like forgiveness and letting go, letting everything go, letting all the hurt go, letting all the burdens, the grudges go. And what I really wanted to do, like I think I wrote it in my notes. Like I just wanted to have my own personal relationship with God. I loved hearing people talk about God and talk about like, oh yeah, I was able to hear God's voice. God told me this. This is why I'm in this position, because of God. And I never knew how or like know what it was like to experience that myself. And so like I wrote down, like I want to be intentional about my relationship with God. That same night, I bought a new Bible. I bought like the highlighters, all the stuff, and went into the new year. I think that was 2022, like wanting to be intentional. I found a church, found a community, found a youth group. I got rebaptized, and that was really like pivotal in my life. Since then, obviously the journey is never easy, ups and downs, experiences, but like since I've been able to kind of create that intimacy and having a personal relationship with God, it's helped me so much. I also like went to therapy. I learned like it's not my job to carry all these burdens. That's his job. It just like I was able to release so much. I was able to heal so much, heal parts of me that I didn't even know were broken. And that's definitely why like I have the mindset I have right now. That's why like my mind is like clear. I'm just like, at the end of the day, life is crazy, but like I know that I am in good hands. I've been able to, as like I've allowed God to pour into me, I've been able to pour into others, I guess, through my speech and through my friends, the love and relationship that I have, because it's life-changing, absolutely life-changing. And I'm so grateful for where I am now and where I'm still going to go.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Question 4. If you could transform South Salem High School, or the version that you knew, what would you add or what would you change about our school?
I think just more diversity in staff specifically. I know the student body is more diverse, and like every single year, every time I come back to Salem, I go to Salem like every week, but I just see more people of color. I see more African people, more people who look like me. And so I know that that is reflected in the student body, but not necessarily staff. And so maybe just like more hires more staff of color so that students can feel more represented. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the gift that can give and that representation, like the studies that show that just seeing myself in someone else and their story, or seeing myself in my teacher, the person that's in my room, that then enables me to go, I can do that, or I can overcome this, or I can get through this. That is the gift. I'm right there with you that our hiring practices, we have to prioritize diversity. And so thank you for saying that, because I've seen when we do that, we actually are creating students who are more motivated, more passionate, and more intelligent. They are seen from different viewpoints, whether it's the color of the skin of the person that's teaching them, or it's their story, their life story, or it's everything of the above. So yeah, thank you for saying that. And we'll get better. We're working on it. We're trying hard.
And I know it is, and it continuously will get better.
Good. Yeah. We'll talk about Black History Month. What does it mean for you to have a designated month of celebration? What have been your experiences with it? And what do you hope to see in this month from a community-wide level, from a national level? Share anything you got.
Black History Month isn't just a month. It's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong process of celebrating, of acknowledging, and of actively choosing to make change in your community. Actively choosing to be supportive of everybody, no matter their background, to actively fight against microaggressions and discrimination and inequality and inequity. It's like a lifestyle process. I'm grateful that we have the month to celebrate it, the month to, I guess, like reflect. And every Black History Month, I'm very, very intentional. I'll only like listen to like music from like Black artists or watch movies with like all Black casts. I love documentaries. I fall asleep during movies, but I'll never fall asleep during a documentary. So I'm watching like documentaries about iconic and impactful Black people who have made change, especially in the music aspect. And yeah, I think I'm like very intentional about the content I'm watching. I'll try to also shop Black owned businesses. Like during that month, I just go out of my way to extra support the Black community because we've been through so much, come such a long way. Still never ending journey, but I think I take away the resilience and the love the most from being in the Black community and celebrating Black History Month.
That's a perfect segue into our rapid fire questions. And these ones are brought to us by another one of our sponsors, Saucetown Properties, Matt Cox, a former Saxon grad as well, or Saxon grad, former Saxon student. And actually, I'm curious, for those who want to support Black-owned businesses, let's start there. If you could recommend one in the Salem area for us to check out and to support, or 5. I mean, give it to us all. Yeah. Name any that you got, and we'll make sure that their name is shared and what they've got going on is shared as well.
Okay. My personal favorite is Flourish Spices and African Food, which is my mom, Oluwadara Elkanah. And I'm so proud of her. I love her. That's my inspiration. She has lots of African food and spices. Her products are in stores like Market of Choice and Whole Foods. And she has basically, like, one of her main things is like pre-made like spice packs and food packs, so you can make it so you're able to make like jollof rice at home. She has a jollof rice mix. She has puff mix, which are like African donuts, fufu and egusi mix. I know fufu was really popular. It like blew up on TikTok, and so we get like phone calls whenever I'm in Salem. I get phone calls of people like, "Oh, is there fufu in the shop today? I want to try it." So yeah, and she also does like catering. So if you're hungry and you want to try African food, she can make it. Probably that's my favorite one because I am probably her number one customer. Always going home and raiding the fridge and taking food back with me. My job as a college student. And also, I guess I can promote my business. My middle name is Gold, and so my business name is Golden Touch. And also specialize in ethnic hair and braiding, twists. And I operate in both cities, Salem and Corvallis. And I'm really grateful to be able to operate in both cities. Productive hairstyles. I got you. Let's see. I think the other ones I know are like in like Parliament, they're like clothing based, but Salem, yeah, I would say those 2 for Salem.
Perfect. Favorite restaurant other than your own mom's that you like to frequent when you're here in Salem?
There's 2 Venti's, but they moved from like right near South, and I'll say Noble Wave, which is also downtown. It's like Southern, it's Louisiana based Southern food. Really, really great for brunch.
Any books, documentaries that you've seen recently that you love?
Okay, my favorite genre of books, I always just find myself being like led to these books, but it's like African like contemporary stories or something like that. And one of them is called Even When Her Voice Shakes. And one of them, Sisters Who Sweep the Same Path. I couldn't tell you the names of the authors correctly. I will mess it up. But just really impactful stories about certain women's experiences in, one is in Nigeria, one is based in Ghana, their experience of and their story of resilience, basically. Movies. I sleep during movies, but my favorite movies of all time, anything with Minions, I won't sleep. So Despicable Me 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Minions, I won't fall asleep. And I recently watched The Forge, and it was really, really good.
Haven't seen that one. Haven't seen that one, but Minions is on repeat at my house. So yeah, definitely relate to that.
I understand.
Yes. Who else should we interview?
Jackson Watson, Layla Leaks, Tatiana Bell, I think is her name. Yeah, those are the top 3 that come to mind. Avery Maker, I think the last name I could be wrong. I'm not sure. Avery. Even Mr. Roberson.
Yes.
Right, Roberson.
Yes. Yep. He is now in Corvallis, actually.
Oh,
so
I think that's the tracker. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coaching, full-time coach, head varsity football coach at Corvallis High, and then he's at an elementary school as a counselor. So if you can connect with him, I highly recommend it. I'll send him a text after this and let him know that he got a shout out as well. Yes. If anyone wants to get involved locally in any of the organizations that you're passionate about, what would you recommend?
Yes, EOP, the Educational Opportunities Program. So grateful to be part of that program. That program is wonderful. They also provide scholarships. They provide just like extra assistance, and also another like sense of family. And so really grateful to be part of that program. Shout out to Marilyn Stewart, my EOP academic advisor, and Dorian Smith. They have done so much for the community, so much for me personally when times were tough, when I was doing so much and I like needed someone to talk to or just like support. I'm so grateful for them. They have helped me so much.
Dara, as we close, any last shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to you, Mr. Marshall. Really grateful for you. So grateful for you. So grateful for I feel like fights I would have with myself in your office, like internal fights and figuring things out. There's a sign in your office that was, hold on, I have it because I say it. Hold on. I want to do it. Was it like choose grace or like have grace?
Very close. Memorize grace.
Memorize grace. Yes. And every time I would say that in my office, I have actively put that and like apply that to my life now. And it's so helpful. It's wonderful. It's allowed me to be more patient with myself and to memorize grace with myself and with others. And so that sign still has an impact on my life to this day. So I'm super grateful for that. Thanks, shout out to Keck and Carrie, shout out to Mr. Dixon, Ms. Forsyth, Miss Hallie. I'm trying to remember I've had so many professors since then. So shout out to I love this Mr. Young, and my little brother's still in that class. I'm just so grateful for like all of the staff at Saxon High School. I love them all. I cherish them all. They still have an impact in my life, even if I don't remember their names or didn't mention them, like they still have an impact in my life. I am always so grateful for the school I went to and the staff from South.
Well, you're so generous with your words and your heart. Thank you for that. Thank you for the time that you've spent here being interviewed and being in the spotlight. Know that we are so proud to call you a Saxon. It's just been a thrill to watch you go from our walls into the next stage of life. And I know from this point forward, though there will be that roller coaster and those ups and downs, that you will navigate it with such grace and such dignity, and the ability to find those themes, like you said, the thing that just kind of the through line through it all is one of your biggest strengths and gifts. Thank you for allowing us to celebrate you, especially during Black History Month, but of all months, you are a story and a voice that we want to amplify as much as possible. And I knew by looping you in, 4 years ago into those initial interviews, right? 2021, I knew that this day would come where we got to celebrate you and tell your story as well. So I'm so excited to be able to get this out. Thank you for your time today, and thanks for jumping on with us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to reach out. I was like, yes, I'm there. I'm so down. And like we said, like it's very much a full circle moment, and it's great to reflect on my high school experience and how it has impacted me to be where I am today.
That does it for our conversation with Dara. Thanks so much to her for her willingness to jump in with us. And if you are interested in hearing more from her, we are going to repost the conversation she had back in 2021 with Kunai and Kudzai when we launched the Spotlight series back in that day. So stay tuned for that. That'll come show up on your feed at some point soon. Thanks so much, and go Saxons.